Hey guys, Gina here. It's been a really long time since I've done a video. I know I've had a lot of people ask me about showing my planner setup and just about different things that I've mentioned on some of the Facebook groups, and I apologize that I haven't gotten any done yet, but I've done a lot of changing over the last few months with some of my planners. I jumped on the Filofax bandwagon, and so I've really been just getting those set up. I actually am going to be using several planners. I say several, a few planners for this next year for 2014. I have a financial planner set up. We do own a business plus our personal finances, and I'm getting ready to open an Etsy shop. So I do have a planner specifically for finances. I've got my home planner. I've got my personal planner that I take with me everywhere I go, and then I do have a homeschool planner, and I've had a lot of requests to share that, and I promise I will get to videos on all of them. Right now I'm just going to concentrate on my main personal Malden that I take with me everywhere I go. I use it every single day. First thing I grab when I wake up in the morning, get up, get dressed, make my bed, grab my planner, and go out to the house, or go out of my room to the rest of the house and plan my to-do list for the day. So this is my Aqua Malden. I absolutely love it. I love the Maldens. I've actually got 3 now. Definitely a Malden girl. I love how soft and supple they are. I just think that, I don't know, I love the give they have. Definitely my favorite Filofax. You can see that it is super stuffed. I've got it overflowing. It's very stuffed. I am contemplating taking some stuff out, possibly splitting it into another planner that another personal size that I take with me sometimes, like depending on where I'm going, that I might grab. This one would still go with me everywhere. I don't know. I'm contemplating a couple choices. So I probably will do an update on this in the near future once I decide what I'm going to do with it. But for now, I'll show you the setup that I've got. So I've got a couple charms here. I've got an origami owl that I got in a rack a few months ago, and that came with this little pearl also. I love those. And then I added a little rainbow. So I love my planner charms. They're super cute to hang off the side. I just love them. So we'll take a look inside. The first thing, you can definitely see that it doesn't lay flat over here because I've got it so full of stuff. Over here on the side, I have in the little zip pocket, I have got 5 Friction Slims. I saw someone do this in another video that I watched, and I really loved it. Actually, at the time I did not even know that Friction made Slims, but I got on JetPens and ordered me some. I love how they fit in the pocket here. I'm very OCD about scratching things out. I can't stand having that scratch out in my planner or really on any of my paperwork or anything that I do. So I definitely use a lot of whiteout tape, and so Frictions are definitely a pen that I love because I can erase. So I love those, and they fit in there really nicely. I've got some of these little tab stickies that a good friend got for me, I believe, at the Container Store, and I love them. I use them a lot, especially in the personal size. I think they're just a really good size to fit on your pages. They don't take up your whole calendar page. I really just like the size of them and love that they come in the different colors and stuff. So, and then I've got this little card with some flags on it and some transparent arrows that I use quite a bit, and some bow tie sticky notes. I've also got this set of flags that I just got, I believe, off of eBay, and I love all the different designs and the colors are pretty, so I wanted to keep that in here so I could use those. I've got a few of the to-do sheets from the Target dollar spot, and a few of the don't forgets back here. And then I've got some other just random notepads, sticky pads that I've got. They do get a little crumpled on the corners from the planner over here, but it's okay. I don't use them too often, but I want them there if I need them. And I've got my little monkey that my friend got for me that I love him, so I keep him up here. Then in this back pocket, I am a purchaser for the children's ministry at church. So this is just our tax exempt number that I need from time to time when I make purchases, so I just keep that back there. So you can see my name here that my friend got for me. I love it. And then I've got a dashboard with the elephants on it, and I got that from Paper Addict. And love the dashboard, so I put that in the front. My second page is something that I just saw actually on one of the Facebook groups the other day, and I really loved what it said, so I just typed up my own, printed it, and put some washi on it for security, securing the holes, and put it in here. I like seeing it every morning when I wake up and open my planner for the day. I like it. So next is a fly leaf that I've got some stickies on, some little note sheets on, something I wanted to get done. I have put a little paper tab up here at the top. I don't necessarily grab it and open it because it is just paper, but it just helps me to know right where my dashboard is and where my sticky notes are. I am going to reinforce it up here at the top. It's not super reinforced, but I will get it more reinforced with some washi tape. Then I've got some just blank sheets of paper right here in the front. And what I use this for is like an inspirational type of section. I see a lot of things come across Facebook that I really like what they say, whether it be a Bible verse, a quote, different things, and so I just use this section to write those things down. And I really like it in the front of my section, or in the front of my planner, because I can see it frequently. I can read it, I can just let it grow in my heart, and it's just easier to me than having it somewhere in the back that I have to dig for. It's right here in the front. It's easy to get to. So I've got a few sheets of paper for that. My first divider is my brain dump section. And you can see that I don't have a lot of dividers. Mostly my A to Z tabs is my biggest section here. And then I've got a few top tabs that I'll go over. And those are mostly subsections or subcategories. But my first section is my brain dump. Trying to get a good view here for you. I feel like I don't have stuff in a good view. So anyway, this is my brain dump section. I made the dividers. I've made all of my own dividers. I'm actually getting ready to make dividers and put them in my Etsy store. So I will post some of that stuff on Facebook groups when I get my store open. It's not quite open yet, or I would post a link down below, but I will have it open soon. So this is my brain dump section. Got some sticky notes here on the back side. I've printed some of these note pages from the polkadotposy.com. Love her stuff. And this is just like a to-do kind of, not really to-do, just kind of things I want to get done over Christmas break, things that are on my mind that, oh yeah, I really want to get that done sooner than later. So that's what this list is. Just got some extra sheets here. I've got some of the Filofax to-do sheets in here. It's not really a to-do list like a daily to-do, what I'm using these for in here. I'm using them more as things I want to get done. Hey, I want to do this, I want to do this, and I can still check mark them off when I get to them. It's stuff that I don't necessarily have to have done today or tomorrow, but I just want to get done. So I list those in here. And then I've also just got some plain paper that I list other things on. So that's that section. My next section, I actually need to make a new tab for because I decided to call it something else. But it's basically like a medical section for our family. I have a couple health issues that cause me to need to track my daily weight and my food intake and some medication that I take. So I really needed that section, but I also want to just keep track of all of the members of our family, if they are on a prescription, what it was for, when they started it, allergies. I've been and want to continue to keep track of doctor's appointments. If they go to the doctor for whatever it is, keep track of that and know, is this a chronic problem? Was it just a cold? You know, I just want to keep track of all of that. My husband gets migraines. My daughter is starting to show signs of having migraines as well. So I'm just wanting to keep track of a lot more medical stuff. So when we go to the doctor, I know. I can say, hey, yeah, I've got that down. She's been having migraines 3 times a week or once a week or whatever it is. And I'm actually working on creating some of my own pages that I will eventually put up in my Etsy shop as well. And the first things that I'm working on are some medical pages. I'll show you just briefly one of them. I don't have them done. This is not a final what it's going to look like, but this is the gist of what the information that's going to be on there is. And this one is, I do see a cardiologist, so this is so I can keep track of all of my cardiologist appointments. Like I said, this isn't done. I don't have a background or a border or anything on it yet, but you know, I want to keep that in this medical section. And I'm also just going to have a sheet of your basic doctor's appointments, your just for a cold or whatever you go for. This is just specific ones to my cardiologist because that is something that for me is very important that I want to take notes on and make sure I keep track of. So I've got these health and diet planners that I ordered from Pierrick on Facebook. I can keep track of my food on here. When I run out, I probably will make my own and customize it a little bit more to certain things that I have found that I want on these sheets, but for right now I'm using these, and I can keep track of my weight, my water intake, all of my foods and snacks, and then I just jot my medicines down over here in this little summary section. Then this is where I've been logging my cardiologist appointments and my medications. For right now, I just have each member of our family is a different color. I'm pink, my daughter is yellow, my husband is blue, and my son is purple. They don't go to the doctor nearly as often as I do, so they don't have a lot in there for right now. I've got this card stuck in here because I really liked what it said. It was just an inspirational thing, and so I just punched holes in it and put it in here. It's just one of those, it's not Project Life, but kind of like the Project Life cards that you get at Michael's. And I've got some sticky notes on the back here. My next little section, I don't really have a big divider for it. I just made this kind of like a bookmark, and it's for my prayers. And this is for people that I want to pray for, people that have asked for prayers, just anybody that I want to remember in my prayers. So I do have that as a top tab, you can see, so I can just go to it quickly, jot it down, go to it quickly to pray, whatever. I did cover up because it is some information of some people that are on Facebook, so I've just covered that up. But I do just have extra sheets here that I jot those down on. Okay, so the next section is my calendar section, and I don't actually have it labeled as calendar. I have remember, just because I like to mix things up a little bit, and I had these tabs and it already said remember on it. It was red, it went with my divider, and I figure your calendar section, that's where you need to remember stuff, so that's what I used. I like it, I think it's cute. Like I said, I like to change things up. So on the inside I've got a couple different sticky notes that I use, and I've got some of these little reminder sheets that I got in a rack, and I just wrote something that's inspirational to me here on the front that I like to keep. I've got some printables that I did that is dates for 2014. Since I don't keep the whole year of my calendar pages in here, I just use this for keeping track of appointments. Like I've got a couple appointments in June that I need to put into my calendar when I get that far, but for now I just keep this sheet, and this is where I write appointments for the year. My next one is renewals. I don't have a lot of things that I have to renew every year, but I do keep it in here in case something comes up, such as the other day my Norton antivirus came up. I have to renew it in April, so I wrote that on here. This is just another sheet similar to the one I do for 2014 that I just put washi over the top of it, and I just wrote 2015 on it. Probably nothing as of yet, but toward later in the year I'm sure we'll have things that will come up that will be coming up for 2015. I know we've got a graduation that year to go to, so as soon as I hear the date on that, I'll jot it in here. I just wanted this in here for reference in case anything did come up. I've got a place to put it and I don't forget about it or forget where I put it. My next thing here is a yearly pull-out calendar that I actually color code and use for birthdays and anniversaries. And see if I can show the whole thing here. So it's just a pull-out with the whole entire year and the days of the month on there, and I just write birthdays and anniversaries in this calendar. So my next thing here under calendar is my monthly. And I just have a month on 2 pages, and what I've done is I have taken one of these that I got for 50 cents at Dollar General, and it actually goes for 2 years. I just took the plastic cover off of it and cut it down the center and hole punched it and put it in, and that's what I'm using for my monthlies. It's cheap. Again, I like the different dimensions of it. It's not full size, but I like that. I like the colorfulness of it. So that's what I've done. I've stuck some sticky notes on the front, and I've got a little paper clip here to clip the months together. So this is my January, and I use the market dots for paydays. And I just write appointments and anything that I need to remember in here so I can look at the whole month at a glance and know what's going on for the month. So I've only got 2014 in here. I did take out 15 just to cut down on space in here. This is a greeting card that I picked up at Hobby Lobby. I really liked what it said. I thought it was very appropriate for a calendar section of my planner. I just cut the one side off because I didn't need it, hole punched it, and put it in here. This is my week on 2 pages, which comes from Kitty Qualia on Etsy. And this is just what they look like blank. I usually only do 1, maybe 2 weeks at a time of decorating. But this is this week. You can kind of see both sheets because I have stuff in the middle. But I just, use washi and sticky notes and things. But something new that I'm just started doing actually is putting a fly leaf in the center. And I really am liking it. I like to stick sticky notes on it. I can just rip it off when I'm done. Put notes, things I need to remember, and I just have some extra stickies here. And then right behind that I've got a to-do list for the week. This is stuff that I want to get done this week, and that way I know what needs to get done this week. I don't think that there's enough room on each of these sections to write a whole bunch of stuff for each day. Now if it's something that I specifically need to do in that day, then I will write it on that day. But I just write my weekly to-do list here, and then some days when I've got a lot of extra time, I will do a sticky note with taking things off of this list, and like this is for today. This is the stuff that I want to get done today. This is the stuff off of my list that has to get done today. For example, like yesterday, I didn't have a lot of extra time in my day. We were doing some family stuff, so I didn't make a specific today to-do list. If I had some time, I just looked on here, what can I take off of there to do? So that's how I'm using my to-do lists. And as far as the flyleaf here, I did put a little tab at the top that says this week. So it's easy for me to find it, and I can just go to it and I'm there on that week. So I've got 2 months worth in here right now. And then I'm also using just blank pages to do a day. Like a day per page, I guess you would say. And so what I'm doing with the day per page is some days I have a lot of stuff going on. I've got appointments, I've got a ton of stuff I want to get done around the house, or maybe errands to do. Definitely more than will fit on this square. And it's not really to-dos, but it's like errands or phone calls or other things that, for me personally, this is just a to-do list. Household chores, things like that is what I put on here. So some days I do like to have a day per page. And when I do, I just use my stamp, and I stamp at the top here what day it is. Some days I'll write it in, but I had a ton of stuff I needed to get done this specific day. And so I used one of these to write it out. So I've got my this week that I can flip to, and then I've got my today, and I can just flip to that. And also, some days I like to write Bible verses or inspirational quotes on that specific day, just because maybe it pertains to that day, something I'm struggling with that day, or something that I'm going through that day, and I like to have it that day so I can see it and it's right there in my face. I have been contemplating using the journal or the bullet journal methods of putting things in. So I did write them on dewdrops and put them here on my ruler, my today marker, so I can see what the symbols are that I want to use. Is it something I will continue to do? I'm not quite sure yet. I'm playing around with it. So that's what those are there for. So I've just got a few sheets here that are here I can decorate for my day per page. And the next section is my A to Z's. This is the biggest section of my planner. I love this section. It is my favorite section. I put so much stuff in here. I just love it. Like, it's kind of like a brain dump, but I still want my brain dump because that's where I write just random things. And sometimes stuff from my brain dump gets moved over into the A to Z's, but I need just a literal brain dumping, just dump everything that's on my brain. So that's why I still have my brain dump section. This is more organized brain dump, I guess you could call it. But you can see that my A to Z section is pretty thick. I love it. I really, really love it, and I utilize it every single day. I have considered taking the A to Z section out and putting it in its own planner. I do have other personal size planners because it's growing so rapidly and I love using it, so I've considered putting it in its own planner. I'm not sure how that will work in conjunction with my calendar, but I've got the planner. It wouldn't cost me anything but a few seconds to put it over in there and see how it works out for me. So again, I will do an update video to let y'all know what changes I've made, but I did want to just do a video of how my planner sits right now. Even though it is very stuffed full, it does lay flat. I can easily write on it. It lays pretty flat. You can see that it opens flat. Once you get to, the front part of it, it doesn't lay quite as flat. Or, of course, the back part of it, it doesn't lay quite as flat. You can see. But the calendar part where I do the most writing does lay flat. That's not the issue for me. My biggest issue with it being so stuffed is I don't want to hurt the rings. They're perfect right now. And also, if I need to add something somewhere in the back or the front part, when I open the rings, stuff flies out at me. So, I don't know. We'll see what changes are going to be made with that. But I will show you what I've got in my A to Z tabs. I love that I have these pastel A to Z's versus the manila color. I happened to just get them in one of the planners that I purchased, and I'm so glad I did. I love them because I'm a colorful person. I like colors. So under A, I have some address sheets, and I did cover up someone's address that I didn't want to show, but this is just for a doctor, so it's not a big deal. But I just keep a couple address sheets in here. This is alarm information for my church. I have a key to the church and I need to know the alarm codes. This is a list for books to read. Now some of these sheets I've just printed, so I haven't actually transferred my lists over, so they'll be blank, but I do have stuff to put on them, just haven't done it yet. So I've got books to read. I've got books to find because I do homeschool, and I have a list of books that we need for some curriculum that we're going to be using this next year. So I have a list of books I need to look for when I go to the bookstores or garage sales. I do peruse Goodwills, things like that for books especially. So I got that list there. Got just a couple extra note sheets here for things that you can see when it gets toward the back it is a little hard to turn. So like I said, that's why I'm contemplating taking some of this out. So in my C to D section, I've got stuff pertaining to my contacts. I've only recently been wearing contacts, well, a few months now, but when I went to order them, I compared two different places and their prices, so I wanted to keep track of those prices, so when I ordered them the next time, I knew and I wouldn't have to call them again to figure it out. I wrote the name of my contacts at the top. This is the lubricating eye drops that my doctor wants me to use that I've really liked, so I just cut the front of the box out and glued it in here, so I always know if I'm at the store and need to buy it, I don't have to wonder if there's two different kinds of Sustain Ultra. I know this is what the box looks like, so that's why I chose to cut it out and do that. So then I've got just a couple other blank sheets in here. In my E and F section, I've got one of these handy dandy little, I can't show all of this, but this is one of the little pullouts that one of the girls in my Facebook group, Functional Planning, made for her Christmas gifts, and so I made one for my Facebook group, and I just keep track of certain things to do with the group. I keep addresses. Unfortunately, there are a couple people that have ruined their reputation with our Facebook groups and won't be allowed to be accepted in as a member, so I keep track of that in here, and just anything that has to do with my Facebook group is what I keep in here. And I keep a paper clip on that. This has stuff to do with my Etsy store that I'm getting ready to open. Some blank sheets here. My G and F section I have got, and again I didn't fill this out because I knew I was going to be filming, but I do have goals that I'm starting for the new year, and so this is just a goal tracker sheet that I printed and used decorative scissors to cut, used some hole protectors, and just fold it up, put it under G for goal, put a paper clip on it. And that's all I've got in my G and H section. I and J, I've just got some leads for jobs in here, some places that a friend of mine told me was hiring. So I just have those listed here so I can keep track of those and know where to go look when I'm ready to pursue that. And like I said, a couple more note sheets there. My K and L section, I placed an order in December from Kitty Qualia, and I just kept track of what I ordered so I know if I received the whole order, or I just like to keep track of my orders. And since it was bigger than would fit on like a little sticky note on my calendar sheets, which is what I do a lot of times with my orders, I'll either write them in here or I'll put them on a sticky note. This was a little bit larger order, so I just wrote it back here under K for Kitty. Some blank sheets. M and N section, I have stuff for my grocery lists in here and my menu. I know groceries G, but I have my menu under M, and for my brain to work I need my grocery list with my menu. So that's why I keep the grocery list. Somehow I don't have the menu sheet in here and I don't know what happened to it, but I do have a menu sheet that I keep in here, and what I do is in my big home planner, which I will do a video on that as well, I keep my whole month's worth of menu. But then in here, I just keep that week and that week's grocery list. And then I take it out each week and replace it with the next week. I don't want my whole month in here. I don't need my whole month in here. But I need that week's in here. And so that's what I keep in here, is just that week. I take this everywhere with me if I'm at the store and I say, oh yeah, weren't we going to have lasagna this week? I know I forgot to purchase something for that. I can look. I've got my grocery list of what I purchased, what I didn't, and my menu. There's been times I take my list to the store and maybe they're out of what I need, and so I always circle it. If I did not purchase it, I circle it and leave this in here so when I'm out somewhere else, I can look back on it and go, hey, yeah, they were out of lasagna noodles, so I need to buy that while I'm at another Walmart or another grocery store. So that's what I do there. I've got a movie list to see that I still need to continue to fill out. I've got a couple, that was an order for my Memory Suite software that I purchased, and a bill, that medical bill that I set up some payments on, so I just wrote down the day that they're coming out and how much a month I'm paying. So that's what that is, and it starts with an M, so that's why it's under M. That's how my brain works, not under bill. I needed it under, it's called Midwest, so I needed it under M. So when I'm looking for something to do with Midwest, I go to the M. Now under B, I do normally have my bills for the month. I don't have January's in there yet, and I just took December's out, but I will just have a blank sheet of paper, just, a sheet of paper like this that just has our bills listed for the month. That is an insert that I'm working on creating, but I haven't done that yet. So I will just have a blank sheet of paper that will have our bills, and that will be under B because that's all of our bills. But a specific bill like this Midwest is under M. That's how my brain works. So we're at O and P. I've got my password tracker list here. I did not fill that in yet because I knew I was doing a video and I didn't want to post that. This is some information on piano lessons and a play that my daughter is going to be in. I ordered an order from Pyrrhic, so I have that there. This is some information about planners, sizes of dashboards and flyleafs that I wanted to make. Some Project Life information here. Some notes after watching some videos. I take notes a lot of times when I watch videos, so I took some notes there. This is just, again, some planner notes that I've got. And this is more planner notes. More planner notes. Love my planner. Some blank sheets. Q and R. I purchased, like I said, for the children's ministry, and we go on rotations. So in my brain, rotation, I'm purchasing for the rotation. So I put it under R instead of children's ministry. That's just how my brain works. What I do when I decide where to put it is I think about what would I look for it under. Am I going to go, oh, that would be under children's, or no, that's under rotation. However my brain first thinks of it is where I put it, because then I know where it's at. So that's all I got there. I do have this recipes to try that I'm going to be filling out. Oh, and I have some hours of a place that I go to do some laminating and things, and it's called the Resource Center, so again I put it under R. S and T, I've got this little, and it's like a little cardstock kind of thing, and it has a store top tab, so you can see it when I close it. You can see the little top tab there. And it is for stores, and what I do is I put a few sticky notes, 2 on each side, and I put different stores. So if there's something specific that I know I need from Walmart, I write it on this list, I grab it, and I put it in my wallet, which actually is a Pocket Malden, which I'll do a video on, but I just grab this. I'm going to Walmart, I grab this. If I'm going to the store, which is called Dillon, that's our main grocery store, I just grab that off of there. But then I can divide things up, like trash bags. Walmart, my Walmart does not carry the trash bags I use, only Dillon's does. So if I need trash bags, normally I would have always purchased them at Walmart, but they quit carrying them. So I have to write it on the Dillon's list. Now this is not for my main grocery shopping, this is for things that we run out of throughout the house that I need to purchase. Like if my daughter needs socks, I'm not going to buy that at Dillon, so I'm going to write socks on Walmart. So next time I go to Walmart, I know I need to pick up some socks for her. And then so just various other stores, whether I have a Target list going or whatever. So then I've got a couple of the expense sheets, Filofax expense sheets. I want to start tracking my purchases starting for 2014. Everything that whether it be my debit card, write a check, cash, everything, I want to keep track of all of my money spent. So I've just got a couple here, and I have that under S for spending, because that's spending log is what I'm thinking of it. And that's where I'm going to think of it to be. Some little sheets. I've got things to make. U and V. I'm not sure I've got anything. Oh yeah, my Verizon cell phone bill I set up on auto pay, and so I just wrote the date that I set it up on. It's coming out the 27th of every month, and I just wanted to keep note of that. Again, that's not in the bill section, that's under V for Verizon. W and X, I've got wish lists for all 4 of us, and I just write things down as people say, oh, I'd like to have that. Write that down. So when birthdays, anniversaries, Valentine's Day, whatever occasion that I want to purchase something for somebody comes up, I've got a list of what they need or want. My next thing here is my washi samples. I take these little cards, punch holes in them, and I put a little sample of all of my washi tapes on here. It's probably, I mean, I know it's kind of a thick section to keep in here, and it probably takes up room, but you know how many times I bought duplicates before I started doing this? And it'd drive me crazy. I'd get home and I'd be like, well, darn it, I've already got that one. So I just started keeping samples, little strips of every washi tape I've got on here, and so I always know what I have. There's never a question. And then I have one separate card that's just for holiday washies. Y and Z, I have blog ideas. I know that's not Y and Z, but actually I'm going to probably washi over the blog, and this is going to be for my YouTube channel. So it's going to be post ideas, or I might just do washi all over all of it and write YouTube ideas. I don't know how I'll do it. But I don't have a blog, but I do have a YouTube channel, so this is what I'm going to use that for, and that's why it's under Y, which I had started there, but I will use that for something else. So then I've just got a clear pocket. It's one of the top opening pockets. I don't have anything in it yet. I've got a credit card holder that is holding all of my gift cards, because again, this goes with me everywhere, but I don't have room in my wallet because I have a lot of other stuff in there. So this is just gift cards. I have this, I believe it's a day timer or day runner little pocket. There's a pocket on the front and a pocket in the back. And the front is for church receipts, because like I said, I do purchase for my church, and I have a church credit card, so I have to keep every receipt that I use that credit card for. So those receipts go in here. The back side is for returns. If there's something that I know I'm going to return once I get home, or something that I might buy but I'm not sure I'm going to keep it, I want to try it out, I put the receipt here. So when I go to return, the receipt's here and I don't have to go looking for it. I know there's a couple places in my video that are a little choppy, I'm sorry. My camera has shut off a couple of times, my phone has rang a couple of times, so I've had to shut off and back on. But hopefully you're still getting the gist of it here. So you can see that it is super full. Like, I could never open the rings from the back right here. It just would not work. So a couple other things. I keep this Pilot Acroball pen, the pink one, in my planner because I love pink and I use this the most. I love these pens in general. I have all the colors of them, but the pink one is my favorite, so I keep it there. I don't put it on the pin loop because then you can see that it hangs down when it's in there. It hangs down and it hits stuff because it hangs off of there. So I don't really use that pin loop. I just put it right here on the pocket and it works just fine. So in this pocket I keep my checkbook. I don't write many checks, but I do for like church and a few other things, so I keep my checkbook there. Then I have some Martha Stewart removable labels, my dewdrops that I use a lot of, my market dots. I cut the sheets in half so I can keep half in my home binder and half in my personal. And then it's just some more dewdrops. And that's what I keep in that pocket. And then in this back pocket, the only thing I keep, because it is kind of hard to get to, is I keep my contact prescription, my eyeglass prescription, in case I need to order anything while I'm out. I always know where they're at. I don't have to be at home and wonder where they are. I have found that I've needed them when I'm out and I didn't have them, so that's where I keep them. So like I said, you can see that it's stuffed. It snaps just fine. There's no problem with the snapping, but it is super full. You can see that it's, you know, like I said, it's thicker over here because of those pens. I might have to pare it down a little bit because I do have some other stuff that I would like to carry. So I really am contemplating taking the A to Z tabs out, and I'm thinking about taking the A to Z tabs out. I do have another Malden pocket I could put them in, or I've also got a Finsbury pocket, so I may put them in that. And then, I don't know, will I carry both with me? That seems a little redundant maybe. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do. I'm working on that decision currently in my head. But I will definitely do an updated planner video as soon as I get everything completely finalized. But like I said, I've had a lot of people ask to see my setup, so I wanted to get a setup done soon and get something posted. Not a lot's going to change, just adding a few sheets once I get my inserts done that I'm creating, and possibly taking those A to Z's out so I can have just some more room in here. And because I know my A to Z's are going to grow, and there's not room for growth right now. There's no room for growth in here. So I hope this video was helpful. I hope it wasn't too long. I hope it didn't have too many glitches that it was hard to watch. Please subscribe, like, leave your comments down below. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. Find me on Facebook groups. I'm on pretty much all of them. And then I've got one that I started, Functional Planning. Join that. We've got a lot of good ideas going on in that group. A lot of great people in there with some great ideas. So I hope it was helpful, and I will see you on my next video. Thanks, guys.